It's a way too early edition of the Browns schedule game. Now on All Eyes on Cleveland. Heyo! Welcome to the Orange and Brown Report streaming network, or the OBR streaming network. My name is Brad Ward. This is All Eyes on Cleveland. Casey Kinnamon is next to me, the always fantastic Casey Kinnamon. Follow him at Casey_Kinnamon. What is going on, Big Case Dog?
You know, just kind of having a full day to wrap my head around the schedule. Of course, we already knew the who and the where. We just found out the when. And I'm kind of like projecting because I'm trying to go to a couple games this year. It's been a while for me. So
you got some circled?
Yeah, and one of them I have circled with a buddy, and we're hoping it's going to be like a September, October game because it's in Chicago. And it's not. It's December 14th. So I'm going to have to take my southern ass up north and deal with the elements, I guess. But I also want to shout out Jeff Lloyd for coming on here last week and holding it down with you in my absence. And because I was preparing for the storm that my wife dubbed, "Oh hell no," it was harrowing. We got through it though.
Can we talk about this? So I saw images of the hail. I don't think that was your area, right? Like the big stuff avoided you just barely.
It hit my county, but it was the northern half of my county, and I live in the biggest county in the state. It's long, so it was like closer to the mountains.
Yeah, but they were like baseball size pieces of ice falling from the sky. That's insane.
And like I live in the South, so everything's a little like there's a lot of religions thrown into a lot of things down here. But like the meteorologist called it biblical hail.
Biblical hail.
Yeah, that's what we were preparing for. And for me, it was the wind and the rain did more damage than anything. Luckily, no permanent damage in my house. I was able, because I wasn't on here, I was able to get my cars put away and like I said, batten down the hatches. But some people weren't as lucky.
The voice of one tuning in. Good to see you there, brother. Always a proponent of the show, retweeting our stuff. Always appreciate that. Fumble throwing this out here. Let's just put this out here. Barry's always surprises us. I've been hearing about Olave. Any chance Barry does it again?
Well, we've become accustomed to him making a wide receiver move. And so far, Deontay Johnson's the only thing been added. I don't think that counts as like an eyebrow raiser. So it's a possibility. But they could also go into the season with what they have right now.
Yeah. I'm with you. I mean, because he's young enough, excuse me, because he's young enough, I think you can kick the tires on him. And find out what it would take. I wouldn't want to give up a ton.
No, because you're going to try to pay him. If you know what I mean, he's going to be on the last year of his rookie deal coming in. But you look at what the criteria. It's not the same GM. Loomis has been there as long as I can remember. But new coach, they brought in some other weapons. Obviously, with the car news, they're a weird team. They're a very hard team to forecast what's really going on. I think the bigger question is that a trade partner for Kenny Pickett?
Yeah, I keep hearing about that too. But like, I mean, who are their quarterbacks on their roster? They're like
I can tell you right now, it's Tyler Shuck, it's Spencer Rattler, and it's Travis Hayner. So, but here's the thing, because those are all young guys, even though Shuck's old for a rookie, he's still a young guy. Pickett spent a year with Kellen Moore. So you'd be able to bring someone in that already knows the offense to be like a North Star for the room. A bunch of young dudes, you know what I mean? Hayner, Rattler, and Shuck. Yeah, but those three kids don't know the offense.
Yeah. I'd be surprised. I'd be surprised if they move off of if the Browns trade one of these guys at this point. I think it'll be much further down the line.
No, I'm not saying now either. I think that you want to take 4 arms into camp, but if they get into camp and Shuck's not ready, and as it's a very underwhelming room, and I don't know. For me, I don't know how much the Carr news caught them off guard.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, if we get down the line and the rookies have come on strong, yeah, I mean, I'm all for it. Pickett can kick rocks. I'm good with that. But yeah, and if they find themselves in a place of, I mean, this could happen to any team, though. I mean, down the line, there could be injuries in camp. There always is. So, we could have an injury. You never know. You know what I mean? So that's why I think, at least for the time being, you hold steady. And then I mean, you're not going to get much back for any of these guys, are you? A 6th?
No, yeah, it'd be a day 3, and it probably wouldn't be till 2027.
No, I don't. No, I don't. I don't want to keep him. I don't want to keep him. I'm just trying to think logically about their situation. All right. So we got some bad news about JOK. We haven't talked about that. Thoughts from you? I haven't heard your thoughts on this.
Unfortunately, it seemed inevitable. It seemed like that's the way this was trending. It doesn't mean his career is over, but if he's not playing in 25, it's best to know it early as possible so you can bolster. And if you just check the moves that they made, bringing back Bush, which we don't know what that's going to be with what he has hanging over him. I don't want to speculate, but you go sign Jerome Baker. You still have Hicks. You draft Carson Schlesinger with the 33rd pick in the draft. And it's theoretically you want Schlesinger to be your eventual Mike and Green Dot. But he could definitely play well. Schlesinger's such a peculiar player because when you find out, when you're told he doesn't really come onto the scene until one season. He was a special teamer, has one amazing lights out year. And then you find out he was a walk-on. It's like, oh, he must be a tryhard. Well, yeah, but he's also an elite athlete. Like, I don't know how a guy with that athletic pedigree has to be a walk-on because he truly has ridiculous range, unbelievable instincts. When you're just like breaking down the individual components of his game, it's similar to JOK in a way. He's not going to take on blocks and be a block deconstructor. He's a block evader, but he can make all those same plays, man. He's
JOK,
yeah. He can disappear and reappear, get skinny at the right time, and true sideline to sideline range. So I would love to see those two both on the field at the same time because I think he'd be a fantastic Mike, and you could just roll two linebacker sets a lot. But if you're going to be without JOK for the year, I could see a world in which they slide him over to Will and let Hicks run Mike.
Yeah, I think that's probably what you're looking at in for now, right? Bought a Chubb and JOK jersey last year. Sad story. Sorry, Serge. Sorry, man. That's brutal. Made it. Everybody calm down. MC's here. Drew saying Schlesinger is also 20 pounds heavier than JOK.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
Factual. Listen, Schlesinger looks like he can be a stud. Rookie minicamp was intriguing from what we could see. It seems to me like the quarterbacks both applied themselves well for a first showing. I think Fannin does make an immediate impact is the question here. I think he makes an immediate. You think Fannin makes an immediate impact?
Yeah, because no one knows how much, but there's going to be an uptick of 2 tight ends on the field, 12 personnel. And you can ask him to do things that are to his strength. You don't have to have him come in and struggle. Be like, all right, man, we need you to block this. And before you go, like it's literally play to his strengths and what he can do. And I think that gets him on the field early. And you can see several there's going to be several packages. I'm just excited to see what kind of creativity this can unlock in the playbook because of his alignment versatility.
Yes. And if you think about it, we were asking questions about the wide receiver. They may lean heavy towards the 2 tight end packages. It's one way they can kind of equal out what is a ton of unknown in the wide receiver room at this point. Deontay Johnson could serve as your wide receiver 3. I always circle back to I wish they would have just held on to Moore because he's only 25. That's the main reason why. It's like it's hard if you go out and get a veteran. I guess Olave is in this book in this range still too, right? I think he's young too, right? But like I don't want to go sign a Gabe Davis who is out there or anybody like that who's going to take reps from guys who may serve a purpose this year. First of all, I don't like Gabe Davis as a player, really. But like a veteran like that, I don't want to take reps away from guys that we don't know about if he's not a part of the long-term solution.
That makes sense. That's why it also makes sense if you go get an Olave guy who's young enough that's going to be part of a core and you can build around, and you need a differentiating skill set. I keep circling back to this. It's like, okay, you go get Deontay Johnson. He's a slot receiver.
Same.
Judy does his best work out of the slot. Fannin can play in the slot. I would rather do Judy and Fannin in the slot, and you'll give me another outside receiver to pair with Tillman. Hopefully Thrash can take that step and at least be part of the rotation this year. But you'd feel better having a more like a hired gun who can do damage on the outside and be a field stretcher, because that's like one of the elements this offense really doesn't have yet.
Yeah, I mean, he's a tremendous separator. If we're talking about Johnson, and if he can keep his head on straight, I mean, this is his last chance. Really, I got to think this is his last chance, right?
The vet minimum deal tells you that.
Yes, no guaranteed money, vet min. So he's got to show up with his head on straight and be.
And I mean, just look at the timeline. Everybody's like, well, he talked about some of the production he had in Pittsburgh, and he's been on 3 teams since then. There's a reason he keeps getting just
he did produce in Carolina though.
Yeah, but then and that's a young team looking for weapons. Why did they move off of him? Like what?
That's
what other
the question, right? Yeah. Exactly. Good point. Drew saying you'd be happy with a Cooper reunion. Ugh, I don't see that happening.
Look, if you told me Joe Flacco's starting all year, no matter what, then I'd consider it, because the chemistry they have, and it would automatically raise the floor. But we have so many uncertainties at quarterback, and we saw what happened. Like Cooper obviously was frustrated here last year, and the team was frustrated with him in return. But then he leaves here, and like, what was he in Buffalo? Wide receiver 3 or 4?
Yeah,
like that's scary. That's a quick drop off.
Yeah.
And I thought his skill set would age gracefully because it wasn't predicated on being super twitchy, just being a precise route runner and a salesman,
Yeah.
But it fell off quick. So maybe he gets fully healthy. Maybe he was banged up to something we don't know. But it would have to be so price friendly. And I just don't see him taking that deal.
It's interesting though, that this happens all the time where guys who are like a stud for one team get moved to another team mid-season, and then they don't contribute in the same way. Mm-hmm. And you're like, what happened? You know what I mean? I think it's hard for, especially at the wide receiver position, for somebody to come in and make like an immediate impact over guys that have been running the offense all year. Mm-hmm. Like, and they also to figure out how to use them properly and all these things. And I just don't think that they figured it out quick enough in Buffalo, how to use Coop. I mean, he had a couple of big catches here or there.
Yeah, I believe his first catch was a touchdown.
Yeah, but he never really. He
didn't feel like he was ever part of the offense.
Exactly. It felt like disjointed. And
they're not a team with like a plethora of wide receivers.
Exactly.
I mean? They definitely they needed someone to take that role, and for whatever reason they couldn't make it work.
could not make it work. So with the JOK thing, I brought it up. I'm trying to get the doc on. I want to ask the doc this because here's my question. Like, so he's not retiring. He's taking a year off. I don't know enough medically about a neck injury. Like, what does a year off do for a guy? You know what I mean? Like, what kind of injury do you have to take a year off and then eventually you could potentially come back from? That seems like kind of weird to me, right?
Well, unfortunately, we cover a team that is the most secretive about this guy. So we don't know the exact nature of the injury. I just know a lot of neck injuries have to do with nerves. And nerves, there's no timeline. They come back when they come back, or they don't come back at all.
Yeah.
Or they fire half-hearted, and well, we saw Peyton Manning do the same thing where he had to take a year off. That was a neck injury. He might be dealing with something similar, and Peyton's nerves came back for a while, but they degenerated quickly. He had that big stint when he first got to Denver, but then they fell off a cliff as well.
Yeah, he was never the same. Yeah.
So it's hard to say, man, and it's neck's such a precarious thing, and I don't know.
It's scary.
Hopefully, we can do some Doc Strange shit and go to a mountain in the Himalayas and figure this out.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so we got the schedule yesterday. We're gonna do the way too early schedule game. You ready for this case?
Yes, sir. Way the hell too early. Let's be reckless.
Obviously, this is a little reckless because Fumble says Cooper had 20 catches in 8 games in Buffalo. Fumble calling 4-13. All right, so the please don't, says World's Fastest. Yes, we're doing it. Full
disclaimer, we're going to do it again as the season approaches, and we can kind of look back on this and see where our opinions change.
We don't even know who the starting quarterback is going to be. So it is somewhat reckless, but it is an exercise that we do. It's fun, sort of. It may not be that fun this year.
Let's find out.
So here's the thing that I was thinking about overnight is about the schedule, right? Week 1 is like, I gotta have it. Week 1 at home. Like the way the schedule sets up, if you want to have anything happen for you this year, I feel like you have to win week 1.
I do not disagree.
Yeah. But I have them winning.
Same here.
They've got.
You look at the familiarity. You look at and for me, this is a coach moment. You have all year you have this whole period to get ready for this one game. So I'm in on week 1.
All right. So we're both 1-0. Do you want to do 4x4?
I'm keeping track of it, so we'll just go through them, and then I'll tell us what our records are after we're done.
All right, so I'll finish this slide, though. So at Baltimore, I have as a loss. Okay. Green Bay at home, I have as a loss. And at Detroit, I have as a loss. 1-3.
Yeah, so I'm kind of happy we're getting the Baltimore road game out of the way. I too have as it a loss. I think that we're catching an L there. But I feel better having it out of the way. But I'm going to differ with you in week 3. I'm going to say we come back home and we beat the Packers.
Okay. I like that.
But then I have us losing to Detroit on the road. I think that's just a buzzsaw.
Yeah, that is a buzzsaw. I think Green Bay is a very good football team.
Me too. I think they're good.
Yeah, I think they're very good.
Their defense is young, and they're still waiting on people to take Lucas Van Ness and Edgerrin Cooper and some of these high-round draft picks. They're waiting on those guys to take that next step. So I think that you might be able to do a little something on offense there, and I'm just banking on our defense playing at home and being able to shut that down for the most part.
So MC agrees with you. All right.
Well, MC is a smart man.
He is. So we've got so we differ a little bit here. I just think, this start is just brutal.
It is.
And then, so the interesting thing as we go to slide 2 is Minnesota will have been over there for a week. Now they play in Dublin.
Yeah, but that's like a 25-minute plane ride to London.
Okay. I didn't know that. Thank you. That doesn't affect them at all.
Shouldn't.
All right. So this feels like such a toss up. I'm gonna go loss against Minnesota. And then I'm gonna go win at Pittsburgh. I've got win at home against Miami and loss to New England at New England.
Okay.
What's that put me at? 3 and
Yep. You got 3 wins so far.
3 and 5?
Yeah, you picked the Bengals, Steelers, and Dolphins.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. I'm with you on the Minnesota thing. It's considered a home game for us, but the reality is traveling overseas and you're playing a team who doesn't have to deal with those same travel concerns. Now they're the most the first part of our schedule. They are the most unknown because we don't know what that looks like with JJ yet.
That's a good point.
But their rosters, they got a damn
they're
good
loaded
roster.
up. Yeah, they're loaded.
So I'm going to give us that loss. So just the fact that we haven't been over there since 2017, and actually last time we were there, we played the Vikings. Last time we went overseas. So I'm going to count that as a loss for us. And then, I know, there was a lot of okay, they were offered to take the bye coming home from the international game. They chose to delay it, and everybody's like, well, the NFL rewarded them by giving them a week 9 bye. I also look like they're punishing us for not taking it by sending our asses to Pittsburgh coming home from an international game, a place where nothing good happens to us. So I can't give us that win. I want to give us that win, but until I see us win in Pittsburgh with a full stadium, something we haven't done since 2003, it's hard for me to envision us pulling it off.
So
right now their starting quarterback is Mason Rudolph.
Yeah. So here's where I'm going to draw a line in the sand this year, right now, and I'm going to make a proclamation about this.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Pittsburgh is going to be bad this year. I think this is Tomlin's first under 500 season this year.
I've predicted that before, and my rule of thumb became this: until we sweep them in the regular season, I can't dance on the grave.
It's this year.
And look, as soon as that happens, I'll pull out the dancing shoes, baby. We'll get right on that grave. Trust me, it'll be a proud moment. But until we do it, I just can't bank on it. But I do have us finishing the last 2 games before the bye with wins, beating Miami at home, something that's overdue, and then going on the road at New England in what should be a slugfest. They have a good defense, young quarterback, the Vrabel connection. I just think we go there and we get it done. So
you get it done. Wow.
So
where are you at?
I'm at 4-4 going into the bye. And just saying this right now, looking at this schedule ahead of time, if you get to the bye at 4-4, that's a victory.
Thrilled. If you get to the bye at 4-4, I'm thrilled.
Mm-hmm. But that being said, I also have us having a 3-game losing streak. You know what I mean? Going in before that Miami game. So it'll feel dark at one point during this, even if it plays out the way I think it could. That 3-game losing streak will suck.
Yeah. I think the Miami game is a gotta have it at home.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Bengals game is a gotta have it. And then I think you're right. I think Minnesota is a bit of an unknown, so you can get one there. New England is certainly a winnable game. A little bit of an unknown there as well.
For the record, I have us winning all home games so far too.
Okay.
So I got to hope that we revert to that 2023 home cooking thing where the defense is just lights out on the lake.
Yeah, in Pittsburgh, a lot of people in the chat talking about that the Browns haven't won in Pittsburgh except for during COVID in the playoffs, no fans. Now, here's where I'm going to make my case for the sweep against Pittsburgh this year. You're younger. Your quarterback is not going to have any preconceived notions about going to Pittsburgh. And I just think that they're trending away from that feeling, whatever it is, right? And I think that if you do that, I think that it's possible that this is the year where the wheels fall off for Pittsburgh. And I just you can write it down. That's where I'm at. I just don't see them being very good this year. And I think that's a winnable game. And that's a huge, no matter what happens the rest of the season, that's a huge thing to get off your back if you can do it. So, all right. So I'm 3-5. You're 4-4 at the bye. You want to make any wild proclamations about quarterback changes at the bye week?
No. And we can get into that a little later about because we talked about it last night on the schedule release show where we all stood about who we thought should start the season, but here's the one thing I'm doing right now is I'm reserving judgment till I see these guys on the field.
Yeah.
As far as the rookies go, I am of the mind, just based on the way the schedule looks. I know Pete didn't feel similar, but he didn't think the schedule should play into it. I'm not trying to ruin a rookie. And I just know Flacco's not going to be, he's unflappable. I think you can roll into the season with Flacco and have a higher baseline for your offense and maybe just eke out some of these wins. If your defense plays good, you can run the football and you can navigate a tough schedule and escape with some wins. With a rookie, I think you could just get buried by an avalanche of losing early on.
I will not be eating any sardines and mustard, MC.
Why has MC got me eating a tomato salad? And is that a thing? Is there such thing as a tomato salad?
I don't know. They put tomatoes on a salad. That sounds like a
worse than death. Like different types of tomatoes together.
Yeah, well, that's insane. Okay. And then Raul saying, "Don't Browns say that about the Steelers every year?" Yeah, some do.
I said it a couple years ago pretty loudly and was like, "This is the year." I was telling Dave Bacon "This is put it on me. We're gonna go in there and handle them." And until we do it, man, I want to be on Team Brad and be like, I can't do it yet. Not yet.
Raul, I am. They may say that. Some Browns fans may say that. But I haven't said it in years. I have never said it before until this year. So I'm saying it this year because I believe it. So take it for what it's worth. Jets is at New York is a win. The Jets are the Jets. They find a way to win. They always split with Baltimore. They'll get this one at home. They'll split in the division except for Pittsburgh this year. Loss at Las Vegas. I think Vegas is going to be pretty strong. San Francisco at home. I'll go loss. And I'll go win against Tennessee at home.
All right, Brad. Just made a little bit of a climb in this third quarter of the season.
Where am I at?
5 you got 6 wins.
6 and 7.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yep. All right. I'm at 6 and 7 after 4. All right, go ahead.
I'm with you. I think coming off that bye at the Jets, there'll be the field show. They picked up some players I like. I like Mason Taylor. I like some of the things they did. They have a strong defense. I think that this is a game you can take, though. I don't think that this is out of the realm of possibility, unless Fields hits another level he's never played with. If I think that's a winnable game. I'm gonna give that to us. Ravens, like you said, we split with them every year. Split with them last year, and in a terrible season, we split with them. I think and it's at home, so I'm giving us that. Vegas on the road. This is one of those games where it's the Raiders. For whatever reason, man, they have our number.
Yeah.
For whatever reason,
and they're going to be better.
I'm a sneaky Pete believer. I think they'll get a bump from him, and I don't think they'll go to the playoffs. But I think if you told me they finished at 500, I'd be like, that tracks. I think they'll have positive momentum. They went and got Geno Smith. They got Ashton Genty. They got Brock Bowers. They have things they can lean on. The defense needs a ton of work, but Pete's a defensive guy.
Yeah.
I think they'll figure it out.
I like what they're doing.
Yeah. I think that's a loss for us. Niners at home. So what was made of the 2023 game where we beat them at home with PJ Walker? And if you ask the 49ers, like, well, that was injuries. We lost Christian McCaffrey in that game. We lost Debo in that game.
We didn't have our quarter. I
know, but I'm just telling you what the 49ers would tell you. Because you couldn't argue that they're not a more talented team. They certainly are. And they're missing pieces. They've sold off a ton of their pieces now.
Oh, I'm aware, yes.
They're a team in flux. Now, I think they'll rebound from where they were last year, but I don't think they're a contender. I don't think they're going to rebound to 2022, 23 levels. So I have us winning that game at home.
Interesting. It's one that I really had to contemplate. It's a winnable game. It's a winnable game.
And we'll know more, obviously, as we get towards the season. So when we do this again, it'll be interesting to see how we feel, if we feel any differently. And I do have us beating the Titans.
Yeah.
It's a home game. We could, but who knows? We could both be starting rookie quarterbacks. I've seen a lot of speculation is if a certain rookie quarterback were to be starting for us, based on this could be a flex opportunity for the NFL.
I hope. I think it's so sad that we don't have any primetime games.
Yeah, we got the Carolina Panthers treatment. That happened.
Come on. Three teams didn't get any primetime games.
Mm-hmm.
Saints, us, and who? Panthers again?
I don't know if it was the Panthers again. I know they didn't get any last year.
3 teams didn't get it this year.
I can't complain though, coming off 3 wins, man.
Titans.
Although if you were to pick like electric primetime games last year, we were in 2 of them.
The Titans don't have any either.
If you look at the snow game, probably the game of the year as far as viewership.
Yeah, electric games last year.
And then Denver, and the game in Denver on Monday night, we didn't win it. Dude, that game was fun.
It was a spectacular game.
You know what I mean? So,
yes.
I see people saying in the chat, CMC saying he hates primetime games. Look, man, I don't want our schedule riddled with them, but I like the occasional primetime.
I do. Game. I want our schedule riddled with them. I want to be in primetime as much as possible. There's just a different feel around a primetime game. It just feels bigger.
Yeah, but I also understand the NFL, to merit getting a ton of them, you need to be a team of consequence. And this happens every time. Anytime there's low expectations, like there is this year, we overperform. But when there's high expectations from the outside, we always falter. So, I like the fact that the national media and the NFL themselves aren't propping us up going into this year. But I would look, man, a Thursday night, one Sunday night, I would like that personally.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I just, I hear people say all the time, Jacob saying the Giants have 3 primetime games. Wow. It's too late or whatever, oh, come on, give me a break. It's football. It's the Browns. You stay up late, root your team on. The primetime games are a spectacle, and Thursday night games, as much as they are bad for the product, and I understand that, they're still fun, especially at home. I love a Thursday night game at
I love
home.
the pomp and circumstance. I like being the only game on. Hey, I love that.
Exactly. I love it.
All eyes on you.
Love it.
Dude, I like, what food are you going to make for it? Like, I like the whole thing that surrounds it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like an event.
It's a party. Everybody's fired up. You're the only game on. If your team plays well, it's a statement.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's talking about it the next day because it's the only game on. I don't know.
And when you win those Thursday night games and you have that whole weekend off, that's sweet.
Oh, that's sweet.
One of the sweetest 10 days right there.
Love that. All right. So where are you at then?
I am 8-6.
8-6, Case Dog. All right, I
Or,
love it.
On. Let me double check. That might be 8-5. Sorry,
8-5.
Winning the Bengals, Packers, Dolphins, New England, Jets, Ravens, Niners, Tennessee. I got 8. 8-5.
Right. Here we go. You ready? Final four. At Chicago, win. So the good thing about this, if this were to come to fruition, they would be 7-7. You would be technically in the hunt. You would be playing meaningful football in December, which is really all I want this year.
And that's what I said last time the schedule show, man. I would, coming off what we just came off of, meaningful football in December, that'll play.
Yeah. And hopefully you're learning something about your quarterbacks at this point in big games. So Buffalo at home is a loss. Pittsburgh at home is a win. And at Cincinnati is a loss.
So you have us at 8-9.
Yes. That's where I'm at now. Now, I reserve the right to change this before the season.
Of course.
But that's where I'm at now, not knowing, whatever. So, so going into that last game, I mean, it would depend on how the season plays out, but at 8-8 going into that last game depends on what Cincinnati does. There's the potential that could get flexed. I mean, that could be a get it winning in scenario.
Yeah, it doesn't have a date or a time as of now anyway.
Right. Yeah.
That is a TBD.
But I think it's going to take more than 9 wins to get in the AFC this year. I'll just say that.
Every time I think that, it becomes different. But yeah, we saw an emergence from the NFC last year that looks, then all of a sudden, because it was AFC heavy, is what it felt like as far as all the top tier quarterbacks. But then like there became a swarm of total teams from the NFC that are more full, like Philadelphia, Minnesota, Detroit, where it's not because of the quarterback. They have sufficient quarterback play, but their teams bolster it. But I'm chalk with you on this Final Four. I think we beat Chicago. I should be there. And then I think we lose to Buffalo at home, which I believe is the only home loss I gave us on the schedule. Stay home again for Pittsburgh. I got that as a win. And I have a loss to Cincinnati. So I have us at 10-7.
That's playoffs, baby.
That is playoffs. And I didn't know I haven't done this yet, so I didn't know what it was going to look like.
It may be playoffs.
10-7 with 7 seeds. I feel like I think you're probably a 7 seed.
Yeah, probably.
But look, I'm not greedy, dude. You told me we're going to be 8-9. All right, man. I get to watch competitive football all year.
Yeah,
dope.
Yeah, I think we're in the realm of. It's interesting because I think our floor with this schedule, could the wheels fall off on this thing? Could it get ugly? Of course. I'd like to think it doesn't this year. And I think that Stefanski having ownership of what they're doing will help them stay on the straight and narrow a little more. Like they'll create an identity early in the year of who they're going to be more. There was no identity last year. It was lost. They were just in the wind for 9 weeks, right? So, and it's hard to come back from that.
The closest thing they had to an identity was that stretch with Jameis when the identity was just exciting.
Yes.
They were exciting. It didn't mean it was good or bad. It could go either way. But like things were happening.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's interesting. 10-7, 8-9. I mean, it's when I expected the schedule to come out, Case, and I thought, but it's going to be a humdinger, you know? And it really actually, don't get me wrong, it's a brutal start, about as brutal as you can get start. But it really lightens up on the second half, in my opinion.
And you get 4 of your final 6 at home.
Yes.
That's huge, man. I said this last night, and I mean it. Like, yes, the opener of the schedule is hard. You look at those first 6 games, and it's all teams with playoff aspirations.
Yes.
Most of them Super Bowl aspirations. But in that lies opportunity.
Yep.
You can become battle hardened.
Yeah.
Especially if they can literally put the blinders on, they can get the rookies to buy into the mantra 1 week at a time. 1-0, 1-0, 1-0, and just reach for that. And like I said, if we get to the bye at 500,
then
you're in it, man. You're in it.
Yeah.
And you can, if you can catch a little winning streak here,
makes a good point here. Naughty does. Hopefully the fans don't abandon ship before the 4 out of 6 home games. Yeah. Serge wants us to do the Jacksonville.
0-17.
Huh? 0-17.
Duval.
I had this last night. I had their schedule.
You did.
What did I do with it?
Oh, no. But while you're looking for that, did you watch any other teams' schedule release videos?
Yes. I watched a lot of them. I was
the
not
one that
impressed.
Indy had to take down. The one that Indy had to remove.
Yeah, why'd they have to remove it?
Oh, they had all kinds of shit in there, dude. They had Rappaport and Schultz fighting outside of a Starbucks. They had Kyler Murray as a chicken jockey, literally riding a chicken. He's about that big. They had other things in there.
What? They made him take it down? Why? That sounds fantastic.
They had to issue an apology, Brad. They went harsh.
Are you kidding me?
They went hard in the paint at some teams. They had Patrick Mahomes Sr. and John Rocker in a fist fight, and then Kermit the Frog as Mahomes had to break it up.
Oh, my God.
They went hard in the paint on some of these teams.
I love
the best one I saw was the Titans, and they played it like it was a drug commercial, and they called it Schedule Rizzy as the name of the drug. And then it ran like a normal drug commercial would. And then when they got to the side effects, those were the teams.
Yeah.
They had us as diarrhea, by the way.
Yes, I did.
That's nasty work by Tennessee.
Yeah, it was. That was one of the better ones.
Hill got arrested in the Colts one. Tyreek did.
What happened?
In the Colts video, they had Tyreek Hill getting arrested.
Yeah, as a Dolphin, right? Or something.
Yeah.
Some strange stuff going on out there.
And I'm with you. I think most of those things are corny. So far, I think the Titans and the Chargers are probably the 2 best at it because they always come at it from something different.
Yeah. Where the hell did I put their schedule? I'm at a loss. Hold on. I'll find it. Yeah, that I watched a bunch of them though, and some of them I was like, this is so corny, and some I was like, that's pretty good. Schedule Rizzy was great.
Yeah, that was a good one. Mac Wilson spitting bars for the Cardinals.
Oh, I missed that one. I didn't see that one.
Yeah, he rapped. Yeah.
Wait, that was their video. I saw the video. I didn't realize that was their schedule release.
Yep, that was the Cardinals schedule release.
Mac Wilson from the Browns. Yeah. Our Mac Wilson?
I mean, I'm not using those words. He's not my Mac
Formerly
Wilson.
our Mac Wilson?
Yeah.
You know what I mean.
The artist formerly known as Mac Wilson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, dude.
Preseason dynamo, though, right?
Yeah.
Dude's
I didn't
picks
know.
in. It's like, oh, we got us a steal, 5th round.
No. Hey, he played his best football for the. He's got to be up there, man. Right? I mean, he played for. Didn't he play his best years in New England?
He was a rookie in 19.
Get out of here. I guess that's right. We traded him. Yeah, what did you think of the Browns video? What the hell was going on there?
Oh, that was hella corny. I couldn't even tell you what. It wasn't even in order. None of it
was in order.
None of it made sense.
I think it was like to show off like the AI stuff, whatever, but like maybe you have to be on drugs to get it.
I will say this, the OBR had a much better one. I don't know if you caught that today.
We're playing it. You want to watch it?
Yes, let's watch that one. It was way better than the Browns.
All right. Let's watch the Browns. The OBR did their own schedule release today.
Way better.
Let's fire that baby up. I told Boss Man we'd play it today.
Yeah, dude, it was fun. I reposted it. And
where is it at? Here it is.
Clear as what the Browns did by leaps and bounds, man.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Enjoy.
It was well done.
Well done.
Well done. Hats off.
Well done by the social media team.
Hats off.
But yeah, that was better than the Browns for sure.
Way better.
Yeah. I love the zooming in on his hairline
on Mark Davis.
Yeah, and then I for whatever reason I find it very funny the one guy that was wearing the Raven shirt pecking at the ball guy at the birdseed thing. Dude, that guy was funny. Very funny. Yeah, that was a lot better. All right, let's good stuff. Kudos to the OBR social media team. Okay, let's throw this up here and take a quick look. Found it. All right. Ready? I'm gonna fire off this, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Week 1 win. Loss. 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 loss, loss. Bye week, loss, 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 win, 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 loss, loss, loss.
Sir, you have them at 5 and 12. So that's a top 10 pick. That's probably right around 8. The 8 hole right there. That's my guess.
All right. What do you got? Fire it off.
17. What are we talking?
Are you being serious?
No, of course not. Okay. I'm going to say loss right out the gate to the Panthers. I'm going to say the Bengals lick their wounds, put it on them. That's two L's. Texans, it's an L. San Fran, that's an L. Kansas City, that's an L. Seattle, L.
Yeah.
Dude, I got them not winning a game until the bye.
I don't, Rams, L, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm looking at the bye. I'm like, it's L City. Away at Oakland, or sorry, Vegas, same thing for us. I think that's an L.
Yeah.
Well, they'll probably split with a couple teams in our division.
That's what I was thinking too.
But I don't think the Texans are one of them.
Okay.
But the rest of their 4 division games are after that. So, L.
Well, listen. I mean, at this point, you were talking about splitting these divisional games, but if they're over in week 12, week 10,
yeah.
I mean,
one of these teams will manage to blow one of these games, but
yeah, but I mean, the wheels fall off the bus. Their damage is done at 0 and
yeah, they can't. They ain't got a first round pick.
I know.
So okay, Cardinals I'll give them that one. Titans L, home Colts win, home Jets we'll give them that. So that's 3 wins. Away Broncos, that's an L. Away Colts, home Titans, that's 4. I got them at 4 wins.
All right, so we had them at 4 and 5 wins.
So they're picking between 5 and 8, right?
Yeah, Serge says 5 and 12 were between 6 and 9. 4 probably gets you a little closer to top 5.
Yeah.
I love it. I love this schedule for them. I don't see them managing this well. Do you?
No, I mean, dude, from a talent look, man, like they're at a make or break junction with Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
Is he going to become something or is he not? And they've changed everything around him multiple times now. So they went and got an offensive guy, Liam McCohen. And Liam Cohen we worked magic with Will Levis at Kentucky. Obviously comes from the Rams, McVay style of stuff. But what he was able to do with Baker last year, if anything, I feel sorry for Baker. That dude has had nothing but endless offensive coordinators.
Yeah.
And he's had success with the last 2, and they've lost both of them.
Yeah, he's going to set an all-time record for offensive coordinators.
For sure. He might be up there with head coaches already.
He had 4 in his first 3 years, so he was out to a great start.
It's but yeah, I just think, and don't get me wrong, one of these teams that will they get to the bye winless? Probably not. One of these teams will blow something,
I don't know. That's pretty, I think their best chance is the Panthers, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So but it's a rookie head coach and a first-time GM.
Oh, that GM is a piece of work, isn't he?
Joey Stones or Jimmy Stones.
Have you listened to him speak?
Yeah, dude. He was Travis's hype man in their introduction press conference.
Hold on, let me get this. Did you see the Travis Hunter introduction?
Yeah, dude. He was like a hype man. He's like a fight promoter.
I don't know who this guy is or where he came from, but he is a piece of work. I'll tell you that much.
Jimmy Stones, let's go.
Where did he come from? He was with the Rams. He was affiliated with the Rams somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Because he said "F them picks."
Yep.
When he showed up,
he for sure did.
This guy thinks he's like.
I think what is he? 34 years old.
He looks like he's 21.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can get this up. But yeah, it's he's something else, man. He is a gem. I
Talking about
was like, who
Hunter
is
pushing
this
the
guy?
boundaries of what we believe is possible.
Yeah.
He'll
Yeah.
change.
Yeah.
He sounded like me talking about 100 men on a gorilla. You know what I mean?
Speaking of Cuck of the Year, agreed, Rusty. Agreed. Uh, he was talking about him like they were discovered a cure for cancer. You are absolutely right, Philly. That's exactly what he sounded like. I mean, he had to have written this speech before he drafted him. He was like, I got to get him now. I wrote this beautiful speech. I got to give
Yeah,
up everything. Let's go get him.
I've heard
All
fight
right.
promoters, they didn't push their own fighters as well in the public.
Yeah, I mean, let's see if we can get this baby up. All right. Here we go.
There's a Jacksonville Jaguar, and really what comes to mind for me, right? Thinking about the sport of football and really the power of the game itself, right? Its capacity to ignite belief, right? Belief in ourselves, belief in others, right? Belief in achieving what many may deem impossible. Travis Hunter, he embodies belief, right? He's a rare person. He's a rare player, but he's also a reminder that the boundaries of the game of football were built to be challenged. And so the decision to select him was actually a statement for how we plan to move, who we are, and we want him to be nothing more than him. Because when he is, he elevates the space around him. From the football field to the city, to the game of football itself, Travis Hunter is who we've been hunting up. Couldn't be more jacked to be sitting right here beside him and introduce you all to the man of the hour.
Thank you, James. As we get into the Q&A.
I have two takeaways.
Shit. Huh?
That dude is on all the Adderall.
All the Adderall.
And I super wish Liam Cohn would have just slid in and go, Duval at the end of it. Like, I wish that would have happened.
It would have been perfect then. It would have been perfect. Yeah, dude, he is on all the Adderall. He's on all the uppers.
That dude
he did not
can
blink.
smell collars right there.
He did not blink once in that and he wowza. That guy, and that's the guy. No wonder we fleeced him. I mean, I've been saying it. This guy was so jacked up, you could have probably got another first out of him.
There's always next year.
Yeah. That's what I said. I said he looks like he's 26 years old or less than that. Who gave this guy control of their organization? What is going on over there?
Well, do you remember what happened, though? No. They couldn't get a coach to come in because their GM was Trent Baalke. They literally couldn't get right. Cohen. Cohen had to lie to him.
Right, because they hated Baalke, yeah.
Nobody. So they had to fire Baalke. And then at that point, you're that late in the process. So what's the best? Just go get someone who took a piss with Sean McVay once.
Yeah.
Let's go do that.
Yep.
Duval.
Yeah, that's what I said, OG. Look at that sharp looking hoodie. Yeah, that's nice, man.
And you can thank OG Philly for this. This is
man. Go to the Browns OBR.com, the apparel store.
Good OBR apparel. Tell you right now, the challenge for me is keeping this thing icy white. That's the challenge. Normally you see me with a collar, drink water, baby. Only drinking water with this thing on.
Yeah, it's a smart move. That's a smart move for sure.
I know myself.
Yeah. You'll get a stain on it or something, right?
For sure.
A spam stain.
Oh, spam stain, that's forever. That ain't coming out. That spam stained my soul.
All right.
Oddly enough, we don't talk about it. Spam tastes a lot like humble pie.
Sure does. I'm sure it does. Let me ask you this question. What did you think about okay, so both quarterbacks spoke at rookie minicamp.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they both did well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you notice that Watson's name came up multiple times over the weekend?
Yes.
Stefanski was one of them. Also, Dylan Gabriel included him in the quarterback room. What's going on with that?
I don't know. It's
because he's around, right? He's there. He has to be there. It's my understanding that he has to be there rehabbing if he wants to get paid.
I equate him to like herpes.
Yes.
He just think he can't go away.
Yeah.
He risks money if he is elsewhere and gets hurt again.
Dude, if I was the Browns, I'd be like, forget it. We'll pay it all. Just go away.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how contentious that relationship is behind the scenes. Obviously, he can tell they've moved on as far as the owner said it publicly. Like when that happened, like I'm sure, like, because you don't hear Barry and Kevin talking like that. But when the owner comes out and admits that it was a mistake, we cut that off. That's the path.
I mean, he's posting, but he's still on Instagram posting about his
wearing
story.
All Browns gear.
Back. He's all Brownsed out in the Browns facility. Makes me sick to my stomach.
It is, but he's still like he's herpes. He's just even when he's not there, he's there. Like even when there's not an outbreak currently, but you still
even when it's not an outbreak, he's still
you're in between outbreaks right now, but you still have it.
Hiding underneath the surface. Oh, that's pretty funny. So we saw it in the chat earlier. Mentioned that where does this Woodson minority ownership come from?
No, dude made some money in the alcohol business and one invested in an NFL team, and he must have had some positive interactions with Jimmy. I mean, he is an Ohio native. Obviously, we have no ties.
Sure,
never played here. He, and I know a lot of people consider Fremont, Michigan. I've heard that statement before. Underrated strip club in Fremont. I don't know how I know that.
Wait, what about the?
I didn't say anything.
Club? What about the strip club?
I may or may not have spent my 25th birthday at a strip club in Fremont.
Okay, and what does that have to do? That's where he's from?
Yes.
Oh, I thought you said like he owned the strip club or something.
No. I mean, he might. I don't know. It's been a long time since I was 25.
Hey, Rusty, nobody's going crazy, bud. We're not going nuts. No,
it's over. He owns the team.
Are we going crazy? He's gonna run this thing into the ground. Nobody's going crazy. You just brought it up for a second. 1%. Nobody's going crazy, Rusty.
It just kind of came out of nowhere because it's someone we've never associated with us. If you told me Peyton Manning did, I'd understand that. Him and Jimmy have a relationship. He's got a close relationship with Jimmy's brother, who was the governor of Tennessee.
The 0.1% ownership. Like the time I got 1 square foot of land in Scotland as a gift. I don't know if that's exactly the same, but sure.
That makes you a lord if you own land in Scotland.
Yeah, Lord Surge.
I'm just saying. I mean, it's
the title of a lord. Yeah, you're right. Okay, yeah. So do we get compensatory picks for a minority owner? I don't think that's how that works, to be honest.
No. But if you if you look at the teams he played for the Raiders and he played for the Pack, right?
Yeah.
Packers are owned by the public. Anybody, you could buy a share of the Packers, but the Raiders is probably a little harder to get into right now. But you see Brady, you see these guys making those kind of moves. I know that he had to, I guess he sells wine, and he had his face on it, on some of the bottles of wine. I guess to do this, he has to take his face off the bottles of wine.
Really?
Yeah, his image.
Woodson does.
That's what I read. Yeah. I don't know the legality and why that would be a thing, but.
Huh. That's interesting. All right. So, Brown signed some safeties.
Mm-hmm.
DeMonte Casey
Mm-hmm.
and Rayshon Jenkins.
Yep.
You like either of these guys? Casey's
they raised
right?
the floor. Like, it's sort of like the quarterback thing for me. It was like, I was like, cast a wide net. It's not going to be sexy. And then when they did it, I was like, oh, not those guys. It's still like, same thing with the safeties. We wanted more of a name, right? We were looking for Simmons. We're looking for
Williams.
So when they come back with names that you weren't excited about, but you look at their skill sets and I mean, because DeMonte,
I'm not mad. I'm not mad at it.
No, but I get people because it's not named. So people were like, this isn't going to make it. You got better. You needed that. You needed to raise the floor of that room. If you look at that room on paper, you have really 2 rosterable safeties before they got here. And one of them is very inexperienced. You need some experience and some flexibility. Jenkins kind of can move around more. Guys, he's going to be a free. You need a free.
Did they cut Trey Dean or not?
Yes.
He's still showing up on their roster. So they have in the safety room now, Hickman, Delpit.
Yes.
Delpit's your entrenched starter, Pro Bowl player, right? They have that Christopher Edmonds kid.
Yeah.
UDFA last year.
He went on the active. He was on the roster. They kept him around. I think they signed him to a futures reserve thing.
Yeah, but he was in last year though, right?
Yeah.
They had Trey Dean. I think they cut him. I liked Trey Dean. I wish it. Anyways, then they've Donovan McMillan kid. They signed this
UDFA.
year. One of their better UDFAs. He's 6'2", from Pitt. He can play.
A huge opportunity for him because we only have one entrenched starter, man. Like, even if you just get in as a rotational player, like there's room for that to happen.
So then now you're talking about Casey and Jenkins. Now Jenkins, if you look at his snaps, I did this the other night on the React. I looked at it. He actually started his career. He's been in the league for a while, Jenkins, but he started out as mostly a free safety guy. But about 3 years in, he got flipped to
box and slot
guy. But then for 3 or 4 years in the middle of his career, he was doing everything. He was playing free. I think it was with I forget who it was with, but they obviously were doing a lot of switching because he was playing free, strong, and slot, and a lot of snaps and a lot of tackles. So, but I think he's more of a box guy in his older age. But anyways, he was on Garage Beers. Donovan McMillan was. Absolutely. And then, but Casey seems like the obvious fit.
He's a free
to play free.
Yeah.
Or to battle with.
To compete. Yeah, I'm not handing any one of these guys, but I think you're right. I think Jenkins is the obvious backup to Delpit.
He could back up anywhere, I think.
Yeah,
it's kind of
like a utility safety. Yeah. You can, what McLeod, like the McLeod thing. Yeah, I agree. I agree, and and Kazie's played I mean, he's played marginal in the box and in the slot, but he's had a ton of reps at free.
Is it Kazi or Casey?
I don't know. Well, let him make some plays, and I'll let you know. What's crazy is I know he's been in Pittsburgh. I remember him more in Atlanta. I remember watching him in Atlanta and being like,
yeah, it's weird that
thought he was a young player.
If he ends up starting it free, the Browns and
they get Thornhill.
The Steelers will have just flip-flop free safeties.
Yeah.
The thing is, people who hate Juan Thornhill because of one or two plays and because of his social media presence.
Yeah.
But he actually did a pretty good job playing his role when he was on the field. He wasn't on the field very much, but when he was
that calf really bit him.
Yeah.
And if you're going to be active in social media, you got to perform on the field. It goes hand in hand, you know.
Fumble confirms it's KZ.
KZ.
So yeah, I mean, I think that's fine, and you can disagree all you want, Serge. It's fine. You think he was cheeks, that's fine. But if one, he's yapping about it already. Yeah, because of just his mouth and all that, I have no problem seeing him go, and everything. Guy came in here and tattooed an elf on him.
Yeah, he endeared himself right away. He was throwing opening pitches and being seen at all the functions. You know what I mean? He ingratiated himself. But if that's not followed, and then you get the fool's gold because he gets a pick 6 in a preseason game against the Chiefs right before the season started that year, and you're like, oh man, finally we got our free safety, and it just, he was mid, but you didn't pay for mid.
No, you paid for better than that. You're right. But so it's KZ versus Hickman.
Yep. That's what it looks like right now.
I like what Stefanski's saying about earning. You've heard him talking about a lot about that, and there's going to be a lot of competition on this roster, and people are going to have to earn their spots, and I like that. So.
Yeah,
good for the Browns.
mean, coming off 3-14, man, you have to switch some things up.
You are.
And, the last thing you want is complacency. You don't want someone feeling like their job's just theirs. Go out there and make them earn it. So
You're watching All Eyes on Cleveland on the OBR streaming network. Make sure you hit like or subscribe. What are you watching, Case, these days?
I just finished up a series on Netflix called The Residents. It's like a Clue whodunit type thing, 8 episodes long, about a murder in the White House during a state dinner. And it's,
The Residents.
It's called The Residents. It was on Netflix. Tremendous. Everyone who acted in it was amazing.
Really?
Yeah, it basically centers on this detective. Her name's Cordelia Cupp. They refer to us as the world's greatest detective, which is bullshit because we all know that's Batman. But she is amazing.
Batman is the world's greatest detective?
Batman is the world's greatest detective.
I've never
I don't know
heard
how this is breaking news to you.
Described as I've never heard him described as a detective before.
Oh,
he's a superhero.
I think he's more detective than he is a superhero.
What are you talking about? Oh my God, this is madness.
Somebody in the chat, get my back. Yeah, I read, Brad. I read so many comics.
That's fine, but he's not a detective. He's a goddamn superhero. He's
he's the world's greatest detective.
House isn't a detective either. He's a doctor.
I don't know who responded
with everybody.
I don't know, man. I don't know, Google who's the world's greatest detective. Batman's going to be on that list, bro.
Batman is not a detective. Where in the world is this coming from? I'm flabbergasted by this. When has he ever been named a detective? He's a goddamn superhero.
Bob Kane and Bill Finger, when they made Batman, that was the whole premise, is he was the world's greatest detective.
That he's not a detective, though.
I mean, does he have the rank by the police force? No. He is a detective. He figures it all out.
He does not have a badge. He does not investigate murders.
I would accept Sherlock Holmes. I would accept that.
Sherlock Holmes is a good answer.
It is great. I can't. Inspector Gadget, that's weak. But Sherlock Holmes, that's acceptable.
I disagree that Olivia Benson is the best detective ever. I do like SVU, but I disagree that she's the best.
Look at Drew. Drew got my back. Rusty's got my back. I'm telling you, man. If you read Batman, he's the world's greatest detective. That's his stick. That's what he comes
I don't
in
get
with.
it. I don't get it. That's his shtick. He dressed up like a bat
And solves crimes, brother. He gets to the bottom of shit.
That's not a detective.
Yes, he is. He's the world's greatest. You're going to argue with Bob Kane and Bill Finger?
What are we talking
argue with the
about?
guys who created it?
What are we talking about? Dear Lord.
Anyway, The Residence is good. If you need a show on Netflix, it's a quick watch. 8 episodes. Every actor's amazing in it. And you won't probably guess who did it. Good luck with that. Because I tried.
What?
It's The Residence. It's a whodunit, like Murder on Orient Express or, House of Knives or, it's like that. You have to try to guess who did it. It's like Clue, but it's really well done.
So you don't know who did it at the end?
I mean, you figured they tell you in the end, but you're trying to guess the whole time. Like, oh, I think it's that dude, or I think it's this girl, or.
Is it kind of cheesy though? That sounds kind of cheesy. You liked it though?
Yeah, it was good. It was because it was well acted, man. It was well acted. It was set up, and it was told really inventively. Like, it's not just.
Yeah. Have you seen Mobland?
No.
I will give you this, Rusty. It looks fantastic. It looks fantastic. What else? Seen Landman. What else is out right now? You said Daredevil was good.
Yeah, I wrapped up Daredevil. I wasn't as hype on the season because they're already filming the second season. So it ends on like a little bit of a to be continued. So I'm never a fan of that.
I gotta see what MC said about. I started to watch Mobland, couldn't understand what they were saying. Yeah, Last of Us is in its second and final season. Why only 2 seasons, Philly? I didn't get that. Have you watched that show?
Nope.
I saw the first season and the first episode of the second season, and then I got cut off because I started watching something else. What was it? You? Anybody ever watch the show You?
Yes, Jacob. He was trying to hit me to it today. He actually sent me the trailer to season 1.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
That's what I've heard.
And I watched the final season of You.
Basically, I have to have 2 shows. I have one that I watch with my wife and one that I watch by myself. Like that's the balancing act of being married. Well, I'll pick a show that's just when we watch together, and then one that I can speed run and watch at my leisure. I just finished up Justified. I watched all of it, including the spinoff season in Detroit.
I watched the spinoff, which was recent. He was just in something I just watched.
I love Timothy Olyphant.
Yeah, he was just. What is he in that I just watched? Oh man, I'll have to think of it.
The last movie I saw him in was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and that came out in 2019.
No, he was just in a movie I watched. It might have been. It was a movie with Tom Hardy. You guys are talking about Tom Hardy in Mobland.
Timothy Olyphant was?
Yeah.
Raylan Givens?
It was a movie it was on it was on Netflix. It was a movie. Havoc. Yeah.
I'm writing that down.
It's a movie out on Netflix right now. But yeah, Timothy Olyphant is one of the cops in it. It's not a major role or anything like that, but Tom Hardy's the leading role. I like Tom Hardy.
Yeah, I'm a huge Tom Hardy fan. Huge.
But yeah, that's smart fumble. Wait, it's not ending? So I was wrong. The Last of Us is not ending. Okay, I guess I was misinformed. I was told it was over after the second season. So I guess I'm wrong about that. It is based off a video game. But I'd never have played the video game.
Yeah.
So to me it's just a TV show. And the first season was excellent, I thought. It's an apocalyptic game where like it's like the fungus or something, right? Like the earth is like poisonous and it like spreads.
That makes sense. We're like a cancer to the planet.
So yeah.
If the planet were to try to kill us off, it makes sense, right?
Yeah. What was yeah, but you the third season is a little slow. I wasn't even gonna watch it. My wife made me watch it, but it's actually damn good. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to run that by my wife and see because I don't know. I never know what series is on deck for us. So
she would like it too.
Yeah,
because it's good for couples because it appeases both sides. But yeah, he's like he's a serial killer basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Jacob gave me the rundown today. They just watched,
but he convinces himself like through his he has a way of like justifying everything, right? That he does. So, and it's interesting because it makes it seems like so logical, like why he has to do this or why he has to do that. Interesting. Very well acted, I would say. All right. Speaking of movies,
let's go.
We've got a movie to discuss. Case brought this to my attention. Where did I put it? Where did he put it? I'll find it. Filibuster there for me a minute. Oh, I found it. Never mind. Here it is.
See, all right. That's all it took. Okay, so David O. Russell is developing a movie about John Madden. And as you can see, Nicolas Cage is going to play John Madden.
Is he in a fat suit?
I don't know.
Or do you just gain weight for that?
Cage will be all in. I just want to know what his voice is going to be like for this.
Yeah.
But Nick goes all in on roles. And so does the man to his right.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, the man playing Al Davis is Christian Bale.
Unbelievable.
We do not have a better chameleon in the entertainment business. That man becomes whatever the role is. Like I'm pumped for this, dude. I think Bale's one of the greatest actors of my generation.
I agree.
He's had my attention ever since American Psycho.
Yep.
And he's just, you're not going to find a more dedicated actor. He will be Al Davis. This is like, I don't know what the backstory is going to be to this. I don't know. I know that Al Davis himself, you can go back and watch the 30 for 30 and like, it was basically him versus the NFL challenging all the authority. And I just want to know where they're going to go with it. But like the last time David O. Russell and Christian Bale made an autobiographical sports movie together, it was The Fighter. The Fighter is an excellent movie. And Christian Bale is lights out in that movie as Dickie Eklund, the brother of Mickey Ward, who was a former fighter himself. But in the movie, he's a crackhead because Dickie Eklund in real life was a crackhead. And you can't watch that movie and convince me that in preparation for that role, that Bale didn't try crack.
Yeah.
You can't in that movie. And when you're watching Christian Bale, you slip out of it and you forget you're watching Christian Bale. You're watching the character.
Yeah.
Because he just becomes it. I'm pumped for this.
Yeah. So, what I know he was OG Philly saying he's so incredible in that movie. Yeah, I'll have
The
to check that
mannerisms,
out.
everything, like he's a crackhead in that movie.
Yeah. What I guess I don't know enough about Al Davis and Madden to know
What makes this an
movie,
intriguing movie,
what the
story
movie is about.
wise?
Yeah.
Same here.
What makes this a movie?
I don't know. It's like a generational thing too, because if you were to ask anyone under the age of like 35, probably to them, Madden's the video game guy.
Right.
He hadn't called games since, I don't know when he quit calling games, 2000. I mean, he just died 2 years ago. So I don't know what kind of behind the scenes stories they're going to be able to tell, but like, I don't know. You put talented actors together with a director like David O. Russell, dude, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. I promise you that. He don't make a bad movie.
No, I think it'll be good for sure. I'm intrigued to see what the story, like, because I guess I just don't know the whole thing behind Al Davis. Like, I know some of it, right? Obviously, the highlights, but like, I guess I didn't realize that was enough for a movie. No, I get that Madden is compelling. I'm just saying,
you need a story to keep it together, though.
Yeah, usually there's like with Al Davis, I know there's going to be shady dealings and things that went on. You know what I mean? Like, he was Al
the
Davis,
wild card of the NFL for a long time.
Yes. And Bale will be terrific in it, and I'm sure Nick Cage will be terrific. But Madden always seemed like a good old boy.
Yeah.
A little bit. So I just didn't know where the it seems like it's going to be strictly early Raiders days, right?
Maybe that's just a section of it, and this is what we're getting right here. I haven't heard anything about the story that's being released, but like I think you're missing some though if you don't talk about him in commercials and in broadcasting and riding the bus to game. You know what I mean? Like if it's going to follow Madden, this might only be like a section of the movie.
Not sure how big a role Bale will be. Sounds like it focuses more on the video game after Davis forces him out. But
maybe. Yeah, I'm with OG. Like the one thing I think Cage will pull it off, but like, what does that voice sound like?
That's tough. Yeah, that's tough. That's a tough thing to perfect, right there.
All right. Well, let's talk about a few things with these actors real quick. Give me your 3 favorite Nick Cage films. What do you got? Chat, sound off.
Well, I really like Face Off.
Yeah.
And I really like what's the one with the plane where he's on the plane?
Con Air.
Con Air.
Yeah.
And what else?
The Rock with him and Connery.
That was great. Those are 3. Yeah,
for me it's Raising Arizona is the number 1.
Okay.
Raising Arizona is H.I. McDonough, dude. Like that movie's and he's I don't know, his voice is wild in that.
Thanks, Naughty. He said that's what the blurb on IMDb says about the movie.
Yeah. And look like Madden is like, too, like I said, it's like asking people, young kids, about Paul Newman. To those, he's the salad dressing guy. They don't know about Cool Hand Luke, or if you were to ask like younger people about George Foreman, I think he invented a grill. They don't know he was an Olympic gold medalist and the oldest heavyweight champion of all time. Lord of War, that's a good one. Adaptation's hard. That's a hard watch. He plays 2 characters in it. It was written by the same guy who wrote Being John Malkovich.
Do you think
Charlie Kaufman's his name? Charlie Kaufman and Kaufman's alter ego.
I'm going to ask you a tough question after this, right? Okay, I'm going to get to some of these real quick though. Yeah. Honorary mention, 8mm.
Yeah, I saw that in theaters, and it freaked my girlfriend at the time out. Like, it freaked her out. I shouldn't have taken her to it.
Yeah, 8mm sticks out in my head. Adaptation is awesome. What's so hard about that to watch? What is it about?
It's this guy. It's about a writer named Charlie Kaufman, who's the actual writer. He wrote himself in. He has a script called Wild Orchid, I think, and he writes himself into the script, and it plays out. And it's Meryl Streep and Chris Cooper. It's a wild ride, man. But he plays Charlie Kaufman and Charlie Kaufman's brother, who doesn't exist, by the way, and he plays both roles. And it's like a tortured person, like going through it. It's pretty wild.
Leaving Las Vegas.
Also a hard watch, man. Watching a guy drink himself to death.
Yeah. Okay, so then we've got. I've seen Snake Eyes.
Gone in 60 Seconds. He's made so many movies.
So that's it. Brings my question to this. I want to ask a tough question about Nick Cage. It's a real tough question. You may get upset with me right here.
Okay.
Is Nick Cage that good of an actor?
Yeah, because he goes all in. You know, he'll pick terrible projects. So you'll see him in a bunch of bad movies. Like, it's like he didn't say no. Do you know what I mean? To roles. But like he goes all in.
I love Con Air, but there are some cheesy ass moments in that movie where his acting is just terrible.
Yeah, for me, that movie's not even about him. It's about like Cyrus the Virus and
it's about
Johnny 23 and the villains that are on the plane.
Right.
Steve Buscemi's character, who's super creepy.
Love it.
Super creepy.
Yeah, love his character. And then Face Off is great because Travolta was.
And he's amazing. He's so in as Castor Troy.
Yeah. And he was a very good actor in that. But there are some movies where I'm like, dude, he's just not good in this role. Or like he doesn't.
The movie's not. It wouldn't be good no matter who was in it. Why is he in this? Why is he doing this? There is a movie out there that I haven't seen with him and Pedro Pascal called the. It's a long title. It's like The Unbearable Weight of Amazing Talent or something.
You seen Moonstruck?
Yeah, I saw it when I was a kid. My mom made me watch it. It has Cher in it. I didn't care for it. No, I wasn't against him.
Ghost Rider?
At first, Ghost Rider was tolerable, but at that point, Marvel was making terrible movies like the Fantastic Four movies. It was whatever. Part 2 was terrible as well. The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. Yeah, okay. I haven't seen that yet.
My wife was friends with Monica Potter. Wow. That's impressive.
But for me, the role is H.I. McDonough in Raising Arizona. Raising Arizona is a flawless film.
Really?
You've never seen it?
No.
It's Coen Brothers. John Goodman's in it. Tex Cobb, who was a boxer, he plays the biker of the apocalypse. It's a Coen Brothers movie, man. It's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Holly Hunter. Okay, let's flip the script. Favorite Christian Bale roles?
I mean, for me, it's obviously American Psycho?
Patrick Bateman. That's cold, Bateman. Man. That's a cold movie.
I mean, Bateman is by far. I think that's his. At least for me, that's my favorite of his. I'm trying to look at.
So amazing, dude. The movie I brought up earlier, The Fighter, his role is Dickie Eklund. It's unbelievably good. I know a lot of people remember him as Batman, but like,
yeah.
The Machinist is a hard watch.
The Machinist is good. Though.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
I like it.
It's watching that guy descend into madness. That's tough.
What else? I mean, obviously, The Dark Knight.
Vice, that's a good one.
Vice,
Prestige, it's another
Vice
Nolan
is
movie he did.
Dick Cheney, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he became Dick Cheney. Like,
Yeah.
well, I remember when I first read that he was going to do it, I'm like, no way. But then you watch it and it's like, no, this dude became Dick Cheney.
Did you see American Hustle?
Yeah. It's made by the same guy that's making this movie, David O. Russell.
Okay.
He made American Hustle as well.
The Big Short.
Mm-hmm. He made that.
Interesting. Yeah, I'll be interested to see what direction they go with this movie, because if it goes into a video game direction, I think that's strange a little bit. Into the Furnace, Equilibrium, Fighter, Prestige, Vice. They need Caliendo to do the voiceover. That would
be hilarious, dude.
Oh my god.
Caliendo is the GOAT of Madden voices.
Very good. Ford versus Ferrari.
Yes. And that brings up my next topic. Okay, so this is an autobiographical sports movie. When we talk about sports movies, we think about some of the ones that are just made up. You know what I mean? That are like Major League. Fantastic movie, but none of that stuff really happened. So when you're doing a movie about people that really existed, sports movies. So chat, sound off with your favorite autobiographical sports movies. So I'm looking at a list here. Me and you were talking about it right before we went out, and we talked about Ali.
Yes, Ali.
Fantastic one. I'm gonna rip off some here, okay?
Yeah.
The Express, Blind Side, Rudy.
Rudy, loved it.
Remember the Titans.
Love it.
Moneyball.
One of my favorite movies ever.
The Hurricane.
Never seen it.
Denzel as Reuben Hurricane Carter, a boxer.
Oh yeah, I've seen parts of it.
We talked about Ali and the Fighter. Foxcatcher is another one. It's about Olympic wrestler Mark Schultz. 42, the Jackie Robinson story.
Have you seen it?
42?
42?
Yes.
Is it good?
Yeah, it was good. It's good. Yeah. Harrison Ford plays the owner of the Dodgers. Obviously, we got 8 Men Out.
Yeah.
Ford versus Ferrari. American Underdog, the Kurt Warner story. Have you seen that?
No, haven't.
Yeah, it's a thing. Miracle.
Terrific. Yep.
Yes. Invincible, the Vince Papale story. Have you seen that with Marky Mark?
I have. It was okay.
Bleed for This. Have you seen that? Miles Teller is Vinny Pazienza, the boxer.
I haven't seen it.
It's very good.
Saying newsies. What is that? Raging Bull.
Newsies. That's a role. It's a role that Bell did early in his career before American Psycho. He was very young.
Oh, okay. Raging Bull.
Raging Bull. Cinderella Man.
Cinderella Man is excellent.
Yeah. So these are autobiographical. So that's kind of the mind you got to put yourself in. You're looking about what we're talking. But I mentioned one to Brad before we went on air. Yes. One that we did. I mean, I was probably in 6th grade when I saw it. The Pistol, the Pete Maravich movie, dude. That had me doing so many drills. That had me outside in my yard. And fun fact, the high school that he's playing, he's in 8th grade, but he's playing on the varsity team in high school. That high school is where I used to deliver mail.
No way.
Yeah, DW Daniel. And what blew me away is when I found that out, like, this is Daniel High. This is where Pistol Pete went. And there's no signs when you get to the school saying home of Pistol Pete. There is not a statue out front.
What are they doing?
It's Pistol Pete, dude. They made the movie The Pistol. Like,
unbelievable.
Yeah, dude. Huge missed opportunity. Everything would be named after Pete if I was there, dude.
Yeah. What is going on? That's crazy. OG Philly saying Raging Bull is the best one.
I mean, it's once again, it's a tough watch. And the Jake LaMotta story. Have you seen Raging Bull?
I haven't. It's
a Scorsese movie. It's De Niro as LaMotta, and you got probably the first time that I saw. I can't believe I'm drawing a blank at this moment. I'm going to kill myself. What's his name? Brian's song. That is a tearjerker.
Yeah.
Raging Bull's good though. It's probably not my favorite autobiographical movie, sports movie. I love The Fighter. Also Remember the Titans. And I was so late to the game on Remember the Titans. My dude kept trying to get me to watch it. I was like, I don't like corny stuff. It's a Disney movie. I ain't in.
Yeah.
He bought me the Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Because I always had an excuse why I hadn't seen it.
Yeah.
Shout out to Micah Shanks. The movie's amazing. Remember the Titans is a dope. It's a top 5 football movie in my mind.
Terrific. Some would say Raging Bull is Scorsese's best.
It's not my
I'll
favorite.
Have to watch it.
It's not my favorite.
Yeah, I'll have to watch it. That's a bold claim. Yeah, we mentioned Rudy. We talked about it. Rudy was great. Rudy Rudiger.
Off as a movie.
Yep. Classic. I tried to throw Hoosiers in there because they were a real team.
Yeah, and like a lot of even these movies I'm saying, like Rudy is loosely based on a true story. He didn't do those things.
Yeah.
The team didn't come in and throw their jerseys on the table of do what, you know what I mean? Like none of that happened.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like it's a good story. It's a fun movie. It's the first time I saw Vince Vaughn on screen and Favre or
yeah. That's
Favreau.
Crazy. I forgot about that. That's right. Is Friday Night Lights autobiographical or just
the Permian Panthers? Like that's a real thing, yeah.
I think it's based on a school and not so much
an actual team that did these things.
Yes, yeah.
I'm sure I'm missing some. I just listed all the ones I could think of.
Draft day. In case I'm way behind on Club Rog. What? Maybe the worst of the worst gentlemen clubs.
I can't even tell you the name of the club that I went to in Fremont. I did not drive. I was driven. It was my birthday.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get too graphic because this is a sports show, but they had a main event. They had they brought like a featured event. Yeah. They had a featured dancer.
Okay.
Her name was Misty Mounds, and she had triple M's. It was gross. It was like too much. It was
wow.
But it was the dancers that were there before her that I remember.
Very interesting. The main event, Misty Mounds.
Yeah, and Jason, I'm talking about 2004, man. Do you know how many? Is that the only one there in 2004? Look, I was taken. It wasn't even my idea, but I didn't fight it.
That's a good way to get out of here. So Browns move into stage still in phase 2.
Phase 2.
Phase 2. But they got everybody together out there, which is interesting. My first was Honeysuckle. She shot me a ping pong ball. Love that. Love that for you. You from Fremont?
Was that to me? No, sir.
I guess.
I was working on the road. I'm from Chillicothe, Ohio. I was working for a company. We would go into Kroger and we would do inventory. And we traveled all over the state, and we were up in Toledo a lot. So in February 18th, 2004, that's where I was at.
Baker's Bunch is the story of Baker and the Baker Bros. Unreal. Still have it. Still has the ping pong ball. That's fantastic. Charles Woodson. Yeah, that's how it came up earlier.
That's why I brought it up. That's my knowledge of Fremont right there.
That's why it came up earlier. Full circle moment right there. All right, Case, you got any parting words before we get out of here tonight?
No, man, like it was weird, right? Because the schedule came out and I noticed a lot more gloom and doom afterwards. It's like we already knew all those teams. We just didn't know when.
You think so? You think there's gloom and doom?
I've very limited engagement on social media during the day when I'm working. But what I saw more negativity following the announcement of the schedule than I saw prior to.
Sure.
You know what I mean? It's a bear up front. But I look at that as opportunity, man.
Yeah.
That's an opportunity to get battle hardened. You know, so I believe in this regime. I believe that we're going to put a competent team on the field and they're going to battle. What does that look like record-wise? We saw tonight just doing the schedule game between me and Brad. It could range from 8-9 to 10-7. I think either of those are good.
We've inspired people to go watch Nick Cage tonight.
I want to see that unbearable weight of massive talent. I do want to see that. I'm going to see that. I'm going to manifest it. I want to say it. I will watch that.
4 QBs, each one will play themselves on or off the team. I think the running game will be very much improved this year, and I hope the turnovers. Yeah.
That has to be the recipe, right?
It has
Run
to
the ball, keep turnovers to a minimum.
Defense has to be good. Yeah, you got to turn people over. Give yourself more opportunities than the opponent. You got to win in the margins. So it'll be an interesting season, but the main thing, like, let's keep the main thing here. You got to learn about these quarterbacks. You got to learn who they are and quickly. Because if one of them is going to make me budge from drafting my guy next year, it's going to take a Brock Purdy-esque type rookie season.
Can't disagree.
With, like, fit in everything, you know what I mean? Mixed in, like, oh, this guy fits perfect. He's the guy. We can win with him. We don't need to spend these 2 first to go take a swing on a superstar quarterback. Mm-hmm. No, I think I'm going after my guy unless Shador comes up and makes it evident that he's the guy.
You have to feel that unequivocally you have your franchise quarterback. End of story.
That's a really difficult place to get to as well.
You know, and then we're talking about us, like, so for us, that's what we see on the field. But for them, it's got to start now. It's got to be the way they handle themselves, the way they command rooms, everything. How they are in meetings, how tentative they are, how, you know, like, or how much about ball are they and their own teammates. Like the qualities you have to be a franchise quarterback, man. It's 24/7. There's no off switch. You got to be about that life. So hopefully they're taking those steps now so that when camp comes, they're able to swim. You know, that's the last thing you want to see someone get kind of bogged down by not being able to disseminate all the information being thrown at them and be slow on the field. They need to keep meeting the challenges. So that's for us. That's what we're looking for. And we won't know until we get to preseason what that actually manifests like on the field. But all that stuff that makes them succeed happens now. And then that's 100%. The results.
100%. Yeah, I mean, every second of every day out there is critical for all 4 of these guys. So I would love to see somebody come and grab the job.
That's best case scenario, man. Make this easy. Make it not a discussion. Just go out there and take it by the reins, man.
Yeah. So, all right. Let's get out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Have a wonderful Thursday evening. You've been locked into the OBR streaming network. Hopefully you caught the schedule release show last night. If not, go back and take a peek. I'll be back tomorrow for things I think I know about the Cleveland Browns. This has been All Eyes on Cleveland with the always wonderful Casey Kinnamon. My name is Brad Ward. Hey, thanks for hanging out with us. It was a fun show. Appreciate your participation as always. Hit like and subscribe on your way out, and have a wonderful night. Peace. We are out.